What's going on, everyone? It's Greeny here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're talking about Bitcoin, guys. We could see a move down to $48,000 in the coming weeks, and I'm going to give you my downside target risk and then my upside target risk. If you like my content, guys, please subscribe down below. Smash the like button as well because it helps me grow, and I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to check out my trading group, guys, where I give daily analysis on how the market is going. We trade altcoins, we trade NFTs, we trade memecoins, and much, much more. So definitely check it out using the whop.com link in the description below. Here's my video. That's right, guys. Bitcoin could potentially hit $52,000, if not go down to $48,000 over the coming weeks. So this video is going to focus more on a macro timescale and why right now screams opportunity for the years ahead. Now, I'm going to give you analysis on the charts, what I'm looking at, some of the indicators that I like to use to give you insight into how I trade every single day, both meme coins, but also altcoins, and obviously from a macro perspective, looking at Bitcoin as well. And now I give this analysis in my trading group most days as well. So definitely check that out, as I said before in the intro. But guys, this is what I'm looking at. So obviously we've ranged for Bitcoin for over 3 months now, literally from the end of February all the way through to the start of July. And I do think that we could continue in this range all the way up to September. Now, obviously recently, guys, I put out a tweet, here about how important it is to actually stay patient in the market at the moment, because in history, we see a massive correlation between essentially how price action behaves after post-halving. So in other words, after we have a halving, we generally see consolidation, and we obviously see a range play out for quite a long time. And so that's currently playing out. So as I dive into in this thread, guys, you can obviously pause it at any time to see what I'm talking about, or obviously just check it out in my Twitter. But essentially, we're talking about what happens post-halving. Down here, we do see that over time, Bitcoin trends up, and that's the story of this video today. That price action for me at $60,000, which is where it currently is, screams opportunity. And if we do see a lower potential, which I'll show you today in this video, then potentially that gives you a life-changing opportunity to get into this market or to DCA in. Now, obviously, we see this trend over time increase. So again, you don't want to rule out the possibility of potentially having a fantastic opportunity in the coming weeks. And I think a lot of people really fade red in the market. And the trick is in a bull market is to essentially buy fear and sell greed. As soon as you feel euphoric, as soon as you feel greedy, guys, that's often a great time to scale out some profits, because likely the market is going to consolidate or go down over time. And that's essentially what's been happening over the past couple months, whereas we're reaching some fearful levels right now, and I'll show you a metric that I like to use, and that screams opportunity for me over the last 8 years. And if you do use a simple form of alpha, the crypto fear and greed index, guys, is a reliable indicator to see how people are essentially feeling and the sentiment around crypto at the current time. But for now, guys, let's focus on the post-halving price action. So in 2012, guys, we saw that the peak took 372 days, after the halving. Coming down to the next cycle, we saw that it took 527 days. So that's a year and a half, guys, before we saw a all-time peak after the halving. In 2020, again, it saw 550 days. So that's a year and a half post-halving. So these things take time. The market takes time to play out, and that's why you just need to stay patient and accumulate during times like this. If we dive a little bit further, guys, I talk about specifically what happens. So what's common across all of this analysis is that Bitcoin price action after a post-halving generally consolidates for a long period of time. So in 2012, we saw 56 days, In 2016, 164. In 2020, we've seen 78 days, and obviously currently it's around 70 days right now. Average that out, guys, and we see that it can be about 100 days. So you could see Bitcoin, if not range for at least another month, or if not a couple months before we do start to see a breakout. So that's what I just want you to take that into consideration, because this is very normal after we see a halving in April earlier this year. So we're currently playing out this range. Now, from a macro perspective, guys, if we can't hold the bottom of this range, so I am looking to long the bottom of this range around that 60K to 56 sort of level, all the way to there. I've got a few orders set, and essentially I'm looking to trade it back up towards this mid-range. If not, trade it back towards this $71,000 range. However, if we can't hold this price action, guys, So say we come down here, we break below, but we can't break back up into the range, then likely we head back down to this liquidity down at 52,000. Now, obviously we can go a little bit further. Okay, if we look here, we've got a wick at about the $48 to $49,000 mark. So for me, guys, I think Bitcoin could, in worst case scenario, come down to those levels. Now, we're obviously going to look at some potential high time frame targets as well. And so for me, guys, the way I like to do that is by using my Fibonacci, okay? And currently, we're taking it from the swing high of the all-time high to the swing low of this current range. And ideally, you're looking for macro higher lows over here to essentially show us bullish continuation. And obviously, a key target for me would be $84,000 in time. And then obviously up here at $100,000. And I think I would like to scale out quite a bit of my holdings, both across crypto, across Bitcoin, but also across altcoins if we do start to reach those higher time frame targets. But for now, guys, this is an important level down at 59,000 to 60,000 sort of level. And if we don't obviously hold that, then likely we continue lower. Now, obviously, the one thing I want to talk to you about is the stochastic RSI. So like I said at the start of the video, I like to use indicators to essentially allow me a little bit of a head start in terms of where price action is going. And so obviously, essentially, the real simple takeaway of what the RSI or the stochastic RSI does is essentially it shows you, it's an oscillator, okay, where the current RSI is essentially where the price is overbought or oversold. So if we do take a look at Bitcoin, okay, and this is on the daily, so it does obviously work on the daily, but it also works on the weekly as well. And currently we're seeing that stochastic is around the bottom, okay? So we are starting to approach on the daily, at least, a reset of a low, okay? So essentially up the top, if you see price action, okay, so if you see price action up here at range highs and you see stochastic RSI towards its range highs, towards 100th percentile, then often it is overbought. So likely we do see a move back down to either the mid-range or obviously down to the bottom of the range to allow this indicator to reset. Now, obviously the same can be said elsewhere. So if we are down the bottom, okay, so as you can see here, we went down all the way to the 18th percentile and we went all the way to the bottom of the range. So more than likely we started to move up at this bottom of the range. So it's just a really good indicator to use over on the side. Now, with that, okay, you can time it with the BBWP. So in other words, this is a volume metric, okay? So if this stochastic RSI is going down, then likely this move is going to continue down. If the stochastic is going up, so as you can see over here, okay, then price was going up, okay? And what we look at is to see whether the volume VMP, essentially is expanding. And right now we haven't seen a large expansion of volatility. We're still currently at the lows, but we are approaching maybe a breakout range. So keep an eye on this jewel as well, because if it does move up and we see volatility move up and these RSIs move up together, then likely we have seen the bottom put in. However, if this moves up, okay, and these RSIs start to come down even harder, then likely we move back down towards this $52,000 range or this $48,000 range. If we take a look at liquidity, guys, over the last 6 months, where do we see a lot of it stacking up? We're seeing a lot of it stack up towards that 50K range. So that's why I am sort of at least giving my trading perspective about potentially a downside move, because as a trader you always want to prepare for the upside, but you also want to prepare for the downside, because that's what we like to do in crypto. The last metric I wanted to talk to you about essentially is the crypto fear and greed index. I specified this earlier in the video, but essentially if you buy fear during a bull market, so if we look at the timing here, guys, it's September, so this is July, so this was September all the way through to October. Let's have a look at where price was during that period of time. So if I just remove the indicators and we come back down, okay, where was price during that time, guys? It was literally here, September all the way through to October, guys. Where were we? The big consolidation period before we broke out. So not only was it consolidating sideways like it is now, we also saw the indicator here, the crypto fear and greed indicator in the fearful zone. And as I said before, guys, in a bull market, I like to accumulate during fear and I like to take profits when we are up in the extreme greed area. And we are fast approaching the fearful range again. So for the sake of this video, guys, I just want you to know that essentially I'm targeting this 52K all the way down to 48K region. If we do break down and we can't hold this 56K to 60K region, if we hold this, guys, then ideally I'm going to trade this back up towards the mid-range here. Hopefully we can see it flip there and continue there, and then look for a breakout for an all-time high, as you can see here. So my cursor's on about September. So for me, guys, that might be aligns with liquidity being injected into the ecosystem later this year once rates start to come down, which allows people to maybe go a bit more risk on because they have a bit more assets on the side or money to play with. So that aligns with also the election in the US, which often brings a lot of fruitfulness to the market. So for me, okay, you just need to stay patient, guys, but also be aware that we could see some downside risk in the short term, but ultimately I still think that screams opportunity for the long term. So there you have it, guys. That's why I am being prepared for Bitcoin moving to maybe $48,000, but then also a move potentially back to $71,000 in time. If you like my content, please subscribe down below. Smash the like button as well because it helps me grow, and I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to check out my trading group, guys, where we've been consistently trading this crypto market for over a year now, and obviously we help educate you on how to become a better and smarter trader as well. You can sign up using the whop.com link in the description below. As always, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.